trap door underneath the pizza place is all subterfuge. Because it's not actually children down there. It's just a whole bunch of Wayfair cabinets.
Okay.
The children
Bring
are
us in
Wayfair.
on that sentence. I don't care what. This is the start of the show officially right there. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Phantom Zone.
Welcome to the Circus of Values.
We're now the
Hey, guys.
QAnon
Not actually
podcast.
children. Anyway, hi. Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah. I am sponsored by Wayfair.
In the QAnon zone.
Yeah. You.
Well, I hear
your
they're
favorite
I hear they're dropping the Q from this thing, so I guess it'd just be like Anon or something.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I don't know. I heard something like that.
What?
Every once in a while, I'll get a wild hair in my ass and just be like, "Oh, let's see if QAnon is around still." Nope, nothing. Like I haven't seen anything about a new post from them or anything. It's funny.
Well,
Go ahead.
I mean, look at all the things they said that would happen that totally did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Trump.
Joe
will be-
Biden.
Uh-huh.
Joe Biden is a Chinese super soldier who is also a sleeper agent who's working for Trump.
Mhm.
And
is
also,
Trump. No,
he is Trump.
Have you heard that one? Like,
Wait,
that's
Wait,
what?
there's news.
Yeah.
Our savior is back. He's
No.
back.
No, it's one of the more bizarre ones I had read about was that that Joe Biden actually is Trump. Trump, like, got plastic
My
surgery
God.
that looked like it.
That is
Yeah.
really funny.
How did they
So I
Yeah.
just,
Well,
You know-
anyways, guys.
How do you explain like any subsequent TV appearance by Donald Trump? What do they have? Archives of just video? Like, oh yeah, this is totally something we didn't
Yeah,
film 5 months
no, that's
ago.
Joe. That's Joe Biden.
Before we had a
Deep
fucking
fakes.
face-off surgical procedure with Joe Biden.
He's
Deepfakes.
Joe Biden. Yeah.
It's
Deepfakes. And we also all know they put a samurai sword in the COVID-19
I
vaccine.
really want to see. I really want to see Joe Biden and Donald Trump in the climactic fight scene of Face Off now, and just have like Biden stabbing Trump with a harpoon, going die.
I just want to see.
He's doing like face waterfalls.
I just want to see all the doves flying around them.
Trump, they would hate Trump. They would attack him all the time because animals hate him.
Yes.
No, they would think his hair is a
also
nest
he looks
and
like
try
a
to,
hot
like,
dog bun. So
Yeah, he does. They try to pull him apart.
yeah.
Mr. Wu, the
Yeah,
doves keep
exactly.
attacking Donald. Just let him.
What? Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
I'm eating a bagel here.
Joe, what's that
So
movie
many
for moving
jokes.
through? Hi, everybody. I'm Connor. Eric's here. Hunter's here. Owen's here.
Hi.
If you listen to us regularly enough, I think you probably know our voice. If you're new to the show, yeah, we don't really do intros.
Yeah,
No.
I'm sorry. If you're new, I'm
No.
sorry. Okay.
If you're new, I'm also sorry. If you're
Yeah, the soul of the show is informality. So, sorry, not sorry.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
And being that I'm the oldest man on earth and I can't let go of the past, every time that I've hosted, I've tried to make everybody introduce themselves because personally, I think it's fun.
No.
Right. Yeah. Well, so it does mix things up. It does change
does.
the energy a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
It does.
I mean, I don't want to appear a professional in any way, shape, or form.
Oh, don't worry about that, sweetie.
I'm already nailing that.
I mean, we've already torpedoed that concept, like the first 2
Well,
minutes of this
it's
show.
very hard to see you, so we can't actually make out what you're actually doing
because
you're so high up.
I'm constantly surrounded by fog that is like above my waistline because you can't see. My head's in the clouds, literally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hunter, are you just the ending of the Cloverfield paradox, where just the Cloverfield monster just sticks its head above the fucking clouds and roars?
Yes. Yeah. That's me.
except it's wearing a giant tuxedo t-shirt.
Yeah.
Fun fact: I was the double for that
I would
in
watch
that movie.
that movie again before I would go see the Cloverfield paradox ever again.
Mm.
Is that a terrible movie? I don't even know. It's just dumb.
It's a stupid movie.
It
Yeah.
had some interesting ideas that just kind of felt very tacked on.
Yeah. Also, like you can sucker me by going like it's about the multiverse. I go ooh.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
it
this
has
some
interesting
cool, bizarre
ideas.
Shit. Yeah, it's full of like the arm thing. I still can't explain. But the initial shot of them finding the girl in the walls, I was like, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's
R&D.
interesting imagery in there, and
Yeah.
yeah, like there's plenty of stuff in there that's like, okay, well, if this was executed a little bit better, it would be interesting. Yeah, that movie's only to me, I just think of it as, oh, well, this killed the concept of putting Cloverfield in front of things that weren't previously titled Cloverfield. This just killed that idea. Because
100%.
Overlord was supposed to be part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great job.
Which, yeah, which I don't know how well that actually would have worked after seeing Overlord.
What would you call it?
I can see
Cloverlord?
how.
Yes.
Yeah, I
I-
guess.
Cloverlord.
I think it was probably just going to have like Cloverfield somewhere in the movie appear,
Overfield.
Yeah,
Like,
probably.
like the title, or
yeah.
it would be like Operation Cloverfield or something like that. Like,
Or
Mm.
John Goodman's there.
yes, yeah.
Well, I
Dancing,
mean, I
like-
can see it being like a street sign from one of the other universes, like appears with the black goo, because they give the black goo an origin where it's like it just appeared here 100 years ago or something like that. They say something to that effect, or they say that it's always been there, or it's been there. Yeah, or it's been there as long as anybody remembers. And I feel like the way that you tie it into Cloverfield is you do give it an origin. You say it just started appearing at a certain time, and there was this sign associated with it. So the idea being that the goo is a result of the universes blending together or whatever.
Or the desiccated corpse of Mary Elizabeth Winstead shows up.
Sure,
Oh no.
could be it.
Oh no. I love her.
Yeah.
Oh no.
She's dead because she fought an
No,
alien
it's
invasion
just
by herself.
Yeah, exactly.
no, it's the guy
Leroy
from
Jenkins.
it's the guy from Hush, whose name I can't remember. Who's also in 10 Cloverfield Lane. It's just his half-acid eaten body.
Yes. Yes.
Just
Which Hunter, with you saying you love Mary Elizabeth Winstead, like, did you see the trailer for the action movie she's going to be in on Netflix?
Yeah, the where she's like poisoned. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That
Looks good. I'm
really
excited for
rad.
that.
yeah, looks good.
She looks like she fits the action
Yeah.
demographic really well. Like, I was not
Yeah.
expecting that. Yeah.
I'm just glad she's
honestly,
getting work.
She was one of the first reasons. Like I like Margot Robbie as Harley, but like when they announced Winstead as Huntress, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
because to me that's perfect. But I also don't remember her being in the movie that long. I also don't think I finished the fucking movie. I know what happened to the end. But
Honestly,
I don't remember
nothing.
getting to the end of it.
One of my biggest problems with that movie is like I didn't need it to be a Harley movie. I was more interested in everybody else in the cast. So
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen more Huntress or Black Canary or any of them.
yeah.
Well,
Exactly.
I
No,
feel like
but
that movie
we-
had a really like a real hardcore identity crisis because first it was announced as Bird of Prey, and then it was announced as Harley Quinn and the Fantabulous Emancipation of Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey.
Well, yeah, and when they were announced separately, actually, and then they were condensed into one movie or something. And
Cool.
It's also, that movie strikes me very much as a like, all right, Margot, here, if you're willing to sign this contract, we will do this with you and this and this and this. Like, I feel like this was very much like to make sure she was very happy.
Thanks for playing ball.
see, my understanding is that she basically caused that movie to happen.
Yeah.
For the most part, like she was, because, and I don't know for sure. Nobody can say for sure. My understanding is that she's one of the few people involved with those movies who really had control over what was going on with her character. Like compared to say Henry Cavill, she seems to have the ability to be like, no, my character's going to be in this movie. No, my character's not going to be in that movie. No, I will not be part of your reshoots. And so on and
Addressing
so
Suicide
forth.
Squad real fast without a spoiler, but they do say in the trailer like there's this very weird approach to Superman in this universe with like continuity that is what the fuck ever. But like it's when Waller says like, "Oh, this is Bloodsport," and he's here because he put Superman in the ICU. I'm like, who do you mean and when? Because I don't know what the fuck that even means anymore. Like, is it Henry Cavill Superman? When did this even happen?
Yeah.
No,
it's almost
and then
like
to put him in there as a headless cameo in Shazam, like, come on.
It's almost like there's no real true continuity within this
There's no
universe. It just is
plan.
created. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like most of the people in charge of the character don't like the character and they want nothing to do with him, but they're forced to try and make money with him. It's it's almost
Here you go,
And when they hire
CW.
somebody that does like the character, that person is a sex pest, apparently. So what can you do?
What the fuck? That's a term.
I mean,
Oh,
how
so
else would you describe Joss Whedon based off the things that we've heard about him?
So when is Activision going to hire him?
Yeah.
See,
I feel like the announcement is tomorrow.
you confuse me because at first I thought you were talking about Bryan Singer. I'm like, that's a really softball way to refer to what the fuck he does as a sex pest.
No.
Sweden. I was like, oh, him.
The suggestion that I think Superman Returns was good is hilarious. By the way, I just want to the suggestion that I think that movie is watchable is it's also hilarious.
I don't remember anything inherently bad about it, but here's the other problem. I don't remember that movie very well at all. I saw it once. It was like,
I mean, it's hard.
I was like,
it's very hard to remember.
Yeah, it's Kevin Smith describes it as like, yeah, you did an hour Superman movie. You did 2 hours of Superman. He doesn't throw one punch.
Yeah. And it's using Arlen's antiquated term. It's got 2 sex pests involved with that movie.
I mean, again, sex pest is really underselling it. Like,
I mean, it's what he is.
What a soccer mom church way to describe a deviant. Like,
he's just a sex pest.
What a sex pest he is. That Kevin Spacey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what he is.
Fine though. You're a young lady. You won't have to worry about sex.
I just remember like Island of Kryptonite and Kevin Spacey just eating scenery alive. I also remember thinking to myself like, and thank God that the CW actually kind of addressed this at length. But like, I'm sorry, but if Lois Lane were to carry around the child of Clark Kent on this earth with this sun as we know it, the first kick would crack that woman's spine.
Yeah,
I don't believe it could be. It can't be done.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. Like the entire act of impregnating her on this planet, underneath the sun,
wouldn't the key component of that just murder her? Like,
right?
Abruptly than Spider-Man did to Mary Jane.
Oh God! Wow, that was over time. And that I imagine the first couple times it wasn't that big a deal, but it was more the amount after a while, I guess. And that brings up the bigger question. I guess Spider-Man was shooting blanks.
What?
Wait,
hold on.
Just why Spider-Man Rain? Why did you have to do it? Like,
he was just fucking. He's a fire hose.
I do want to circle back around to Superman real quick on something that I just remembered. Superman Returns.
Talk about his come too.
No, well, so Superman Returns. It's not after Superman 3 or 4. It's supposed to take place
2.
Yeah.
It's a sequel to the Donner version one. Yeah.
My memory is that they bang out while he doesn't have powers. Am I correct? Or is that something I'm misremembering?
Well, no, I don't think they ever expressly implied that in
maybe that's the thing from the Donner cut then. Maybe the Donner cut has them in a bed naked. But I remember there's an image in my head of him and Margot Kidder in a bed, like post-coitus.
I don't know what sites you go to, Arlen, but
they definitely fucked.
I found
they definitely fucked.
Eric, I've seen things you people can't.
I have read so much slash fiction. I know what happened, dude. You can't.
I mean, it doesn't even need to be Tumblr. If you, I can't believe I'm saying this out loud. If you troll the page 10s, 11s, and 12s of most of Pornhub with the right search criteria entered in, you can find some weird shit. Some people in costumes.
I never want to go, like, if I'm ever in that situation, I don't want to go past page 2, I guess. Like, that's as far as I feel I'm good myself.
I mean, that's fair enough. That's that's completely fair.
I would never
I'm
be
not
that
saying
curious.
you're the weird one.
I like to learn about these things secondhand and read about other people talking about them. I don't need to see them.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't. I'm good.
It's like when I found out about like Sonic OG characters or like what was OC characters and like Google your name and the Hedgehog. I was like, no, don't make me do it. You do it. I don't want to do it with my own 2 hands.
All right, so this was speaking of disturbing and horrible things that I found related to pop culture things.
Are you gonna bring up what I think you are?
Are we talking about Sonic Chew?
Yes.
Wait, what?
Oh, so
okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Hunter. You sound like you might know a little bit more about this than I do.
Okay, there's a, let's call them a
crazy person,
an internet personality. Let's call them that.
Yeah.
Named Chris Chan. She went to jail recently. I don't know if I should say why on this podcast, but I will tell you. Fuck her mom. Yeah.
What?
Her elderly.
What?
Yes.
No, she was caught on tape talking about it, and she got arrested for it.
Yeah. Because there was sufficient evidence.
Yes.
Yep. The creator of Sonic Chew, which is a combination of Sonic the Hedgehog and Pikachu.
Yeah.
Burn the internet to the ground.
Here's the thing, and you know what? I don't care who reacts to this in what way. There's no way you can convince me the Sonic fan base isn't full of just the most bizarre group of people.
You know what? You're right. Absolutely, you're right. 100%.
I'm tired of the pushback. Like, just accept the fact that you're all monsters at this point.
But
well, no, I wouldn't. Monster Connor.
Important part of my history when I was a child.
Monsters is a stretch, but I will give you that they are some fucking weirdos.
There's some weirdos in there, and like it's just it's like they remind me of feet people who will just pop on like an Instagram page and be like, "Yo, let me see them." It's like, who the fuck are
Pop them out. Pop them out. I need to see them.
Feet people are the most they're the most open about their weirdness. It's kind of respectful.
They have a lot of confidence. Yeah.
Yeah, like literally like Halle Berry's like Twitter, like, let me see your feet.
I think in the grand scheme of slightly left of center sexual interests, I guess that
you're navigating this perfectly.
All right, so you like to look at feet.
Right around that iceberg.
It's weird, but it's not really hurting anybody.
No.
Exactly.
So
no.
I guess that's why it's like, okay, whatever. You're just a weird goofball. Like, I don't know. I'm not into it because it's weird and I know, but I don't really have an
Eric doesn't like feet confirmed.
I mean, Eric, I think I'm definitely with you on the, as long as you're not hurting anybody, I don't really care. Like,
I mean, if you want to murder that vajankle you bought online, that's
right.
Fine.
Yeah,
that's
go for it, dog.
But yeah,
hell yeah,
like,
bro.
Like on the just as an example, I don't entirely understand the subgenre of quicksand pornography.
No, that's a thing. Hold on, wait. What?
Oh yeah.
No, that's the thing. It's more boring than you think it is. Because it's literally just people. I'm not even going to say women, just people sinking slowly in quicksand and struggling as they do it.
See, that feels sociopathic to me. I don't like that.
I guess because you're watching someone who's in like virtual peril.
Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like that's what a lot of the sexual is coming from, is that it's not the fact that it's quicksand, it's the fact that there's someone in peril because they're being enveloped. So maybe they're just into vor and they don't realize it yet.
Well, I think it comes from the same place. I think the same people are into vor, but I think the same people are into any situation where a person has their control taken away.
Please name this episode Gateway to Vor.
Yes.
Q'aVore field.
Sure. But here's the thing, like, this is why I say I only half don't understand. I understand the being taken against your will thing. I get that completely and why some people are into it. As long as there's consent and you know what you're doing ahead of time and all that stuff. But I don't know.
Are you revealing a secret to your preferences? Is that Arlen?
I'm not going to confirm or deny
That's a
anything.
confirmation.
There's this weird suspicion I have about Arlen that he's secretly like Aleister Crowley. Like, he's a very well-intending, kind person who's like, he's like, welcome to my sex parties. The farting room is over there. Like,
I'm just envisioning Arlen like pulling on a non-existent tie he's not wearing. It's like the sweat.
It's like, but it's
My
what's it
God.
called? He has Columbo mask parties. Everyone shows up in like a paper Columbo mask.
See, this is how it feels. The furry shit feels, Arlen. How does it feel, huh?
Oh no, furry shit's an abomination and should be wiped off the face of the earth. You horrible pervert.
Okay, here's the thing. I can't believe I'm gonna defend furries here. But like,
Oh
a lot
my
of them are
God.
really nice people. Like, they're not
No, I
monsters.
agree.
Every subsection of fetish or kink, like those communities, I'm sure are full of nice people. But there's also people
Right.
who have
It's
really
fucking
bad
weird.
intentions, who are just fucking horrible.
Well,
I'm
harmful
sorry, it sounded-
deviants.
I thought for a
Yeah.
second you said there are people that have fruit bat intentions. I'm like, oh, that's pretty spot on.
Yeah,
That's
fruit
pretty
bat
spot on.
intentions.
They
Yeah.
might.
I think there are a
Yeah.
lot of people with fruit bad intentions. Yeah.
There was a video I found on YouTube like a long time ago, and just the title, like, it was a 45-minute long video essay, and it was called "Why I Left the Furry Community." I was like, oh, this has juicy. So I watched it, and basically, like, it's an account from being inside of it, and like, it's not all bad. It's just he cites like some very predatory behavior. He also cites like a couple like huge, I guess, conventions they had that were so destructive and so raunchy and so debaucherous that an entire hotel chain banned furry conventions.
Oh yeah,
What did
Yeah,
they do?
there's some crazy
They
shit.
were like, I had to go find this again, but I'm pulling from memory. But like, I distinctly remember someone saying like, yeah, someone was just left burning diapers on people's cars.
Yes.
Like,
Yep.
in trash cans and fucking wherever they chose, I guess. Like,
This is not the
I was-
first time I've heard of stuff like this from
Yeah.
weird communities like that. And even communities that would seem less explicitly about sex. A community that I know far better than I want to is the supernatural fanfic community.
Oh no.
Which is
what in the fuck?
which is a horrible subsection of people that you do not want to interact with ever, on any level.
That's like 2 alcoholic seltzers away from just being straight up pornographic fan.
Oh yeah.
I mean, let's be
Hell
honest.
yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, exactly. And those people are into some crazy shit, especially when you consider that the earliest people writing that stuff, they were writing during the first 5 seasons of the show, where the only 2 characters were 2 brothers. I'll let you fill in what
Yeah,
that
I
means.
kinda feel that
People
this
were
is-
writing
this is
fiction
this-
about it.
I like how we should we're like a Lindsay Ellis episode now. We're just talking about weird shit and like
How many?
and the
I
weirdness that
wonder-
comes around it.
I wonder how many protein stalactites they had to clean out of rooms and where the
Oh,
conventions
dude.
went on.
There was so much cum. And just so much.
Mhm.
Just well, is it a
Yeah.
stalactite or a stalagmite, Maj?
Oh, if it's on the
ground,
floor-
Ceiling.
might falling from the ceiling.
Yeah.
Hang tight to our popcorn
Yes, it
ceilings.
matters if it's one. I gotta get a ladder. So we
One
gotta use.
one can get your eye pregnant. The other one you could trip and fall.
Either way, we got to call in somebody from a union to take it down.
God. I don't know. No, just why? Why just with supernatural fan like what?
Yeah, man.
Why?
Yeah.
Dude,
It
you
exists.
cannot stop horny, dude. You can't.
No, you can't.
No, if
You
Resident Evil
can't.
8 is any indication, you can't stop the horny.
No, it'll
Well,
sell
okay,
millions
they-
of copies.
Connor, they summoned that. They did a satanic ritual and they lit the candles and they were like,
Yeah.
bring
And
the
that's what
devil
always
to
left when
us.
Capcom was like, wow, we're so surprised with this reaction.
No,
I'm like,
you're not.
Shut the fuck up,
Dude, they gave out specific like dimensions.
Yes.
Like-
Exactly.
How are you not surprised? Oh, we're so surprised, and then you're like, oh, she's 9'4".
We're so
Here's her
surprised
foot
by-
size.
Here's her bust size.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Here's
like,
how
They
much-
fuck you.
sponsored a video where somebody investigated what it would mean to have her actually step on you.
Yes.
You don't
Yeah.
do that if you don't know exactly what you're doing. Like, come on. Because you have to plan this stuff out ahead of time. You have to email somebody before anybody knows about this character and say, "Would you be interested in doing this?" It's There's a
mean-
level of kayfabe that they have going on that is, frankly, hilarious.
I mean, the two questions to that email would be why and how much are you going to pay me to find out said things, and that
Right.
would be about the extent of them.
Can I
His
at least get
paycheck
a
is a
free
paycheck.
game? Yeah.
No, but we have a Vajankle for you.
We'll send you a cardboard cutout.
Hmm. A
Yes,
Vajankle
yeah.
with Dimitrescu claws on it, so we know that it's her.
Oh no! And
She-
he'll send you
okay,
one that
so-
looks like an avatar foot.
That voice actress has leaned into it too. by the
Oh
way.
yes,
Yes,
And
Oh, yeah.
good for her, honestly.
Yeah. yeah,
get
absolutely.
paid.
yeah.
I saw
it,
something
girl.
about I saw something about the Claire voice actress like being shown one of the Redfield memes or something like that.
Mm,
I can't remember if it
That's
was exactly what it
amazing.
was, but yeah, there was
Oh,
like
no.
she was somehow get like let in on some of the jokes surrounding like Claire and Leon in that game.
God, yeah. I can only imagine some of the ads that might exist that have those two in it.
Yeah.
The wonderful ones that are like, "Oh, you can't
Oh.
play this game for too long," and just like, "No, oh
Yeah.
no, what am I?"
I wonder
seeing?
how many of those are out there.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
And then
All right,
You mean
guys,
those,
I gotta
like-
delete my history real quick.
You mean those like mobile ads for like games that are legally distinct Resident Evil 2 with Claire's hand still not photoshopped off the
Oh
album
my
cover?
God. That is a
a
mobile
Walking
game. But
Dead game at that.
Wait, it was a Walking Dead
It's-
game?
Yeah.
yes.
yeah, dude.
Oh no!
Did
That's
you not
what I
even say
kept-
it's in very small font so you can be? Yeah,
Connor, when I was posted that picture, I kept bringing up The Walking Dead, and you were like,
Yeah.
you're like, but Survivors though. I was like, Connor, you're
Yeah,
missing
I
a
know,
part of the joke.
I copied the part of it that said Walking Dead Survivor and zoomed in on the Walking Dead
You're-
part.
I-
We were so
you might-
focused on the Survivor part. It was really funny.
There's probably a good reason for it, but yeah, I don't,
Yeah.
I probably I
Yeah.
just don't remember it. I just remember you showing me the hand, and that like I got lost in that. I was like, "What the fuck? Come on!"
the hand. When it was clear that they photoshopped over the actual art from the fucking other game, it was just like my soul left my body a little bit. Because
The police station is in the background.
it's
Yeah.
like I do photoshops like that for this show all the time. it's just it's a very out of body experience.
Yeah, and you're
Oh,
not
there we
being
go.
paid by
Oh,
anybody
wow,
to do
it's
it.
somehow
Yeah, I'm
looks-
not even I'm not an intern or anything.
Good God, that's fucking hideous. Oh my!
So
Dude, it's
bad.
just also like that's clearly Glenn, but
Oh God, it is.
but
that's-
like
Yeah, that's Glenn, but like he's been what, has he been on HGH? What happened to him? That's
well, that's comics. Glenn is a bit buffer, right? Am I mistaken?
No, he was what he was in the show, if I remember, just a
Okay.
pizza delivery guy. Like, yeah, he he lasted for a while, but still.
even in the Telltale games, he's very kind of lanky. I
Yeah.
don't know what this girl's neck is supposed to be, but it's not in that turtleneck. I can tell you that right
Yeah.
now.
Well, also,
Jesus,
who is
whatever's
that?
happening
Is
there.
that supposed to be? Who is that supposed to be? I can't identify the
That
character.
is-
If it's
That is Tim
Andrea,
Bluefield. Damn it.
And I think it's a little insensitive to call this Walking Dead Survivors if that is Glenn.
A little bit.
Just let's not bury the
oh,
lead at
okay,
all.
Beth. Yeah, that just doesn't look like Beth though. That looks
I
like
don't even remember Beth. Okay, so like Someone asked me, like, I think it was at work, they're like, "Hey, have you been keeping up on Walking Dead the past few years?" I was like, "Fuck no." I was like,
The
Wait.
last few years.
Yeah.
What?
It's still running? Wait, hold on. It's still running?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're on season 11. This is allegedly the last season.
Oh,
They've threatened us with one
God,
more.
kill me.
AMC isn't killing this. They're gonna milk this until they can't.
Yeah, and like World
yeah.
Beyond's getting a second season, and I watched one episode of World Beyond. I was like, "You fucking swindlers! Like, this is the
Yeah.
exact same shit. It's even more. So every time I've seen Fear, there's at least something there that sets it apart. It might be something small, but there's something there. Like there's that one season where they had different color grading for timelines that were about to meet up. So like if you were in blue, you were here. If you were like a rust, you were here. And if you were like, I don't know, something else, like I was like, oh, there's an idea there at least. And they sold World Beyond with like these bright ass purple and green fucking ads, and like they had that concept art with like some kind of like walker in a bunch of machines and shit. And then the show picks up, and I'm like, it's the same open lots and dense forests and people
Mhm.
in overcoats and long sleeve shirts. That's it. It looks exactly the same as The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly
I
what I
know.
would have expected.
I just at this point I'm like, why are people still watching it?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, that question's been answering itself for a couple of years now, because every time there's like I think with every subsequent season there's a premiere, and they're like, wow, it had this many less viewers than the last season's premiere.
Yeah, I mean, so it could be this thing that I said back when the show originally started, which was it's like The Simpsons in that in that it can just go on forever. And because you don't have to have Rick, you can have any lead character that you want. You can have multiple eras of the show, and that's why it's been around for so long. And I don't think AMC is. I think they're killing it maybe because they think it's going to be better for the brand. But they could keep going. They could just keep on pumping out shows. Maybe they've decided that they want to save certain actors or let them off their contracts or something.
Or just kill
But
him.
I am, yeah, exactly. But I am surprised that they're not just like, let's just keep going. Let's just keep on adding cast members, because it could easily be like a Days of Our Lives, where it's on like 50 years from now, and the cast is completely different, and everything going on is different. It's just the same world.
Just kill me.
So John's kind of in our chat. He's throwing up some links. He's got some links saying the Rick Grimes movie is still happening, but
all that needs to happen is Andrew Lincoln needs to get a job with a Marvel film or a DC film,
Exactly.
and that plan is done with.
I think it's a
Which-
matter
Yeah,
of
I
time,
mean,
because I think he's
yeah,
probably someone who's been
yeah.
in demand since he left. Because I think
he was
there's-
in demand before. I mean,
Yeah.
like I said when he initially left, he's doing this because he has job off. Like
Mhm.
people have been trying to get him for years, and he wasn't available. Now he is. So
yeah,
I wouldn't be
saw
surprised
him-
if there's stuff that isn't announced, but he's signed on to
I
already.
saw him on a short list. It was like not an official short list, but it was like an article of like potentials for Batman vs Superman for Batman. And the three that like I was kind of one, I liked Affleck, and the other was Richard Armitage, and then Lincoln was on there too. I was like, ooh, I'm kind of into that too.
I would rather he ends up in Love Actually 2 Electric Boogaloo, and it's just the story of him hunting down and killing his best friend so he can marry Keira Knightley over his corpse.
Where it picks up
because-
immediately after he almost dies in Walking Dead.
Yes, yeah. Which
And
I
he's
mean,
like, oh man, I forgot all about this thing I was supposed to do.
I mean, I'll admit it straight up. Like, I love that movie, Love Actually, but
No, it's
that
good.
part of the movie is fucked up and weird, and it makes me really uncomfortable seeing it.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like you watch a best friend's wedding now, you're like, this movie's really fucked up. Like,
I don't know if I've ever seen that.
it's basically just like, yeah, Julia Roberts is jealous that her hot guy friend's getting married, and she's like, I'm gonna fuck up this wedding. And then at the end, she's like,
Cool.
I've learned my lesson. I'm like, you should go away from all these people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I learned my lesson.
Get
I'm a
outta here.
sociopath.
Yeah. Fuck. I was just, damn it. I had something. It's gone. Shit.
We're gonna talk about how Mary Jane is just filled up like a Boston cream in Spider-Man Rain, and that's how she got cancer.
Why does she still have red hair?
Why? Well,
I don't know,
because
but
still have
apparently
red hair.
she's
it. Then how would you know it's Mary Jane? Like it's
right,
the cum.
exactly.
It's the cum.
Mhm.
It preserved her.
Yeah.
Or because she died of cancer, they gave her a wig when they buried her.
I mean,
So
that's very true. Also, like, I don't think we ever talk about the additional weirdness of Spider-Man's classic suit being stored in Mary Jane's coffin that he gets from Zombie Otto.
No.
He liked to go visit her. Visit her.
What a weird ass book that is.
Yeah.
Although
Although
Almost as
I
weird as,
do like the Venom reveal at the end where he's kind of hiding this executive and he just grown into this like this ridiculous size. Speaking
Is
of that,
Eminem there?
Speaking of that, there's a trailer out for Venom and Carnage.
Well, I was gonna go a different direction. Deborah Ann Wool and fucking Kirsten Dunst have been spotted together.
What? Whoa!
Their
Hey!
stuff.
Hey!
They've been
Yeah.
yeah.
Tell me more.
Not like
kissing?
that. I mean, maybe like that. Who knows?
Are they kissing?
Yeah, they
You know,
talk my
maybe
cigar.
maybe Kirsten Dunst is her hall pass from her blind husband.
R.I.P.
So wait, Kirsten Dunst, and who was the other actress again, real quick?
Deborah Ann
Deborah Ann
Wool, who
Wool.
played Karen Page in Daredevil.
Yes.
They've been
And-
they've been spotted together a few times around, I think, New York. I want to say New York or
New
LA,
York.
one of the two.
See,
Uh-huh.
okay, regarding Spider-Man 3, like, I wish they would just come out and say something, because the constant dancing and like
Right.
lack of trailer and lack of clarity, like they won't say anything, but you have fucking Richard Molina's like, oh yeah, well they basically say that my character's dirty and this movie starts right after the end of Spider-Man 2 where I'm sinking in
Right.
water. It's like, okay, you're all giving it away. You're literally all giving away.
Yeah.
Sony's like, mum's the word.
I really, I wonder what the motivation there is. It might be as simple as they want to give the two movies that we already have seen trailers for their own space. I
Yeah.
guess. They want us to see the Spider-Man trailer when we see Shang-Chi in like 6 weeks or something like that. Not even that long. I might be
It's
giving it more
early
time.
September, so yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's about right.
Yeah. So not even
Yeah, I don't know.
not even a
I
month.
think they had to let Loki
So-
in too, because I don't think they wanted to. If
Yes.
there is
Sure.
anything that's
Yeah.
you know. I mean, at this
Yeah.
point, trying down
Sure.
now, and you guys can stop hiding behind it. But I think they
Well,
were
it's
probably
that,
gonna
and
look-
then the thing that Hunter, pointed out that kind of blew his mind, and also blew my mind when I realized that there are still 5 more Marvel things happening this year
Yeah.
after the 4 Marvel things that we've already gotten, and What If, which is about to start. Like, this is
Yeah,
a
next week.
jam-packed year.
Well,
So
they're making up.
yeah. So there's a lot of stuff happening between now and then. One of those shows
Well-
is also going to air, which, it's crazy that those.
Well, what we
that
have Shang-Chi, we have Hawkeye, we have Eternals,
and Miss Marvel,
and
and then Spider-Man.
oh yeah, and Spider-Man. I forgot about Miss Marvel. Okay,
Miss
yeah.
Marvel's
Yeah.
this year? What? What?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the other one. Yeah,
Yeah, I think you're right.
I saw a little
That's
thing about
crazy.
Miss Marvel. I guess there's some concept art out there that kind of has some changes to her powers, and people are upset.
Yeah,
What?
I'd seen that too.
yeah. I don't
Can
really
she transform
understand that
anything?
because she's such a new character. I don't really understand being like upset about her powers, and her powers are she's a Skrull, right? She's a
Inhuman.
or is
No.
she a Inhuman?
Inhuman.
She's
She can
Inhuman.
stretch. She's stretchy.
Right.
That's
My
That's-
least favorite superpowers. So if you want to give her something else, I'm all for it.
I kind of like that power though. It's kind of terrifying.
the thing that I've seen in relation to like those pictures you're talking about, Connor, is the fact that people are speculating, well, Marvel didn't want to give her the stretchy powers because their plans for Fantastic Four are coming up sooner than expected.
No, it's because it'd be horrifying on film and it would traumatize a 9-year-old. That's exactly the reason. I guarantee it.
Well, that, and they also don't want to touch Inhumans ever because it'll reawaken Ike's soul. So
Yeah.
the lantern he has on the edge of his desk will light up, and yeah.
It really sucks that was Ike's like sword to fall on. Not that it's bad. Like it sucks that was what he chose. Because
I totally agree. The fact that he was like, no, this is my thing. This is gonna be my magnum opus that I used to.
He actively took something cool, potentially cool, off the table. It sucks.
I think it's funny that they did to the Inhumans what both Fox
They
and
were
Marvel
doing to
were
the
doing. Yes, exactly. They did it in such a condensed time. Like Fox and Marvel kind of like both like devalue the X-Men in their own ways because like one, Fox couldn't keep up with like consistent returns with quality movies, and Marvel is like who like
yeah.
And then with Inhumans they torpedoed the entire fucking brand with one season of TV. It's kind of impressive.
Well, with the comics at least, what was happening was Inhumans were the next big push.
Yes.
And that's why they were taking them slowly like down in the comics. And then Inhumans happened and they're like, oh no. And they had to retcon a whole lot of stuff or figure
Didn't
out
they just kill
around.
all the Inhumans? Like I'm like there was some kind of like
I don't
like
think they killed all
event?
of them. I don't know if they I don't believe they did. I mean, I think they're still around in some limited capacity, but I mean,
it was like Death to Inhumans or something like that.
yeah, maybe. But I mean, they killed
because they fought the mutants, right? They
released Terrigen Mist, and the Terrigen Mist were killing mutants, is what was going on. Like that's how Cyclops died, and like
right?
Really, you're gonna kill off fucking Cyclops in the comics because the Inhumans are your next big push?
No, good.
Well,
what sucks
killed
about
him
Inhumans,
off in close.
Yeah, what sucks about the Inhumans getting de-pushed is like Black Bolt is cool as fuck, and I don't even know that much about Black Book. Yeah, like the books you gave me, I think it's an Infinity. Thanos walks up to Black Bolt and is like, "Hey, what's up? Let's scrap." And Black Bolt just goes, "No!" and just launches him out of the fucking fortress.
Yeah,
I was like,
there's some.
Yeah.
There's some really cool stories with Black Bolt in them, and he doesn't speak. Like they find ways around it to an extent, but yeah, I mean that's what makes him such an interesting character, is because when they do finally decide to bring out like his full-on use of power, it's always really well done. And then the Inhumans TV show happened, which I still maintain that wasn't Ike being like, this will be my magnum opus. It was more like, fuck you, Kevin. Fuck you, Disney. This is what I'm doing.
I can do this too.
So, yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. I think he really did think that he was doing something great. Like, I really do. I don't think I think he was very deluded. And you got to understand, this is the same guy who bought Marvel when they were in bankruptcy. He let Joe Quesada run the company for a couple years there. Basically unabated by any of his dumb ideas. So yeah, like he has an inflated ego. He was rich before he ever bought Marvel. So I could see him being like,
Toy Biz money.
Yeah, I could easily see him being like, no, this is my way to get back into the spotlight and to be best friends with Bob Iger forever. It didn't work out that way. It didn't work out that way.
Fucking Inhumans was announced, that movie with Vin Diesel as Black Bolt.
Yeah, and Kevin had to grit his teeth. He's like, "Yes, there will be an Inhumans movie," and then that was canceled, and now there was a show. Interesting how that happened, because that happened after Kevin was allowed to dismiss the creative council or whatever they were fucking called, or the creative committee that didn't want him to put. They didn't want him to put Bucky in Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
Which-
I can't remember. It was like Joe Quesada,
something
Brian
like that.
Bendis. Yeah, there were Joss Whedon was part of it. It was a whole bunch of like Marvel writers that had been there for
Yeah.
a while, and like some of their directors, or at least some of the newer people in the MCU who were involved in the
Mhm.
creative side, and like they kind of had like ultimate say over things a lot of times, and Kevin just kind of had to be like, all right, fine, and then they
Yeah.
finally got dissolved when Kevin went over Ike's head.
Yep. Yeah, when he was given the ability to just like do what he wanted, essentially.
I'm
When
just
you-
imagining him going there and just Ren Ishii, like just a bunch of like Marvel writers,
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
it's-
no,
it's
it's probably
cutting
very
off Joe
similar.
Quesada's head.
He
Yeah,
trapped Ike Perlmutter into the Phantom Zone.
I mean,
Not this one, not the one we're in right now.
and it's
but-
pretty stunning when you go back and you look at like the news stories from that time. The 2015 is the year where Edgar Wright leaves Ant-Man very dramatically, or maybe it's 2014, and they have to hire Peyton Reed, and there's all this drama, and Avengers: Age of Ultron happens, and Joss Whedon talks about saying that he never wants to work with Marvel again. He never wants to work with a big studio like that ever again.
He doesn't
Fascinating
have to
how
worry
things
about
have
that anymore.
changed. Um,
Testing.
But and he's like, they took my movie from me and all this stuff. Cut to 2016, Civil War comes out. At the time, at least, most people love Civil War. I think most of the common Marvel criticisms of that time are gone. They're not present in Civil War. Marvel villains all suck isn't even a thing that's brought up when you talk about Civil War. In fact, the opposite is what you bring up when you talk about that movie, and so on and so forth. The movie suddenly has consequences, and they're not afraid to just like introduce brand new characters that you've never heard of before.
Man,
And
like,
characters
yeah,
who
that's
do
very true. Because
incredibly
Black
dark
Panther
things.
is the coolest shit ever in that movie, and it's not even his movie.
Yeah.
Nope.
Oh, dog reporter Otis reporting in.
And
Yeah,
you
he
know,
was-
regarding having a good villain, like the proof's in the pudding. Like they brought him back.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's
And
just all these things that that seemingly just change immediately when that movie comes out.
Although
brought him
I don't
back
think
and had
go ahead, Eric.
arguably the most they brought him back and had him in arguably the most successful Marvel film to date up
Yeah.
until the Endgame and Infinity War. Because if I remember correctly, when I went to go see either Infinity War or Endgame, maybe it was Black Panther was still playing in the theaters.
It
Black
was.
Panther was
Yep.
still playing during
Yes, it
Infinity War.
was.
Yeah,
yes,
Yeah.
because
and they managed to replicate that the next year because Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel was still in theaters when.
Well, like
Endgame
Black
came
Panther
out.
had
Mhm.
legs that I don't think anyone anticipated. Like that movie just kept
No.
making money.
People were very
It
surprised.
was- Yeah, it resonated with a black audience because it's the first time that there had been like a 99.8% like all black
Yeah.
cast superhero film that was from Marvel. Like
Yeah.
you knew there
Mhm.
was like a certain lineage behind it. So I can understand why that movie did gangbusters because it was a big fucking deal. And it
Yeah.
still
Yeah, it
breaks my
was-
heart that Chadwick Boseman is dead.
Oh God, what a fucking like remarkable human being he is. Although like
R.I.P.
with the shit happening with Scarlett Johansson right now, I had like a thought like a couple weeks ago. I was like, what if like Marvel was undone by assholes at Disney?
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know
Huh.
because like I don't see people like I don't hear a lot of people other than people like us talking about the Scarlett Johansson thing.
mhm.
For people who
Yeah.
pay attention to these
Also-
things.
The Scarlett Johansson thing, I think a lot of people want to take she's rich, so why does she need more money side of things.
Because you
But
pay
they're
your
not looking
talent
at
what you promise them.
That's the thing, and I
Exactly.
talked about this in the chat. Like if it was 50 million, 50 grand, 5,000 or 500 or even $50. If that is
Uh-huh.
what is agreed on in a contract, and then you go out of your way to fuck that person out of that money, the
Yeah.
fight remains the same. It doesn't change anything. Like
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Money owed is money owed. It doesn't matter what
Yeah.
what the amount is.
Yeah, it's
And
just
I don't
yeah.
I don't believe for a second that COVID hurt Disney that bad. Like,
Right.
honestly.
No.
Mhm.
No.
Yeah.
But look what they charge to watch on their fucking streaming service. $30 for a movie? Suck my dick.
Yep.
Also,
Yeah.
like, they're Disney, like, I'm sure they have, like, enough in the tank to last them for years as far as, like,
Yeah.
financial hardship.
Mhm.
But, like, at this point, even if Kevin wanted to bring her back, like, would she come back?
No.
I wouldn't
I
if I
don't
were her.
think she I don't think she wants to come back. I think there's a lot of stuff going on here. I think she's done. I think that she wants her sort of final payout from these movies. But also again, you got to think of it in the larger context. She's not the only actress who has to do suits like this, and she's one of the only actresses with the money and the backing to do a suit like this.
Yeah.
A lesser paid or lesser known actress could not do this.
So what does it mean then that Gerard Butler is also doing one?
Well, exactly. Just the fact that she did it and he did it immediately after is like, oh, there are a lot of actors who don't do this because they don't think that they can win or they don't think that public opinion will be behind them. So they just go with it. It's that, we were joking the other day about, how my theory is that a lot of it is, well, they just pay you back in credit. Your next 5 movies are what you get instead of an actual paycheck. And I don't know how inaccurate that is. Because it feels like the only time anybody actually says, I want my money is when there's a falling out or when somebody is done working for a particular studio or company. And even then, it doesn't happen that often.
Well, with the Gerard Butler suit, I thought it was for one of the Olympus Has Whatever films, though.
It is one of the Olympus
Yes.
movies. I can't remember which one it is though.
Yes.
Like, so I could understand if it was that movie Greenland, because I thought that kind of went to streaming sooner than expected. But the Olympus has been inverted, whatever the fuck. Like
the Olympus trilogy, let's call it.
The Olympus has
Okay,
got a
yeah.
handstand.
Because they
Yeah,
made 3 of
it's-
those somehow.
That Olympus jumped on Goofy. It's just like, dude, aren't you a little bit late? Like, didn't the last one come out like 4 years ago? Something ridiculous like that?
Well,
The last one came out
The last one had a
like
pretty
2 years ago.
a distinct title from the other ones. I don't remember what it was called, but because Olympus
Angel
has
Fallen? I think
I think it was Olympus, then London, then Angel Has Fallen.
Yeah.
I think I've seen Angel Has Fallen, and I don't know if I've seen the other 2. I don't know how that happened, but that
Olympus Has
happened
Fallen
somehow.
is a pretty good schlocky action movie that I saw White House Down like a little while after it, and I was like, well, this is just stupid. It's just really dumb. And Olympus Has Fallen is dumb, but Olympus Has Fallen has that that it is dripping with like 80s action, just like, wow, this is fucking brutal and ridiculous, and I love it.
It feels like a Canon Films film, which is
real
not
fun.
surprising with what I
It's
told you about
Gerard
it being
Butler
the
just
same
doing
people.
a one-man rampage through the fucking White House, and then he teams up with Two-Face to fight off terrorists.
Yeah. Okay, I do think I have seen that one, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. He stabs a lot of people in the head in that movie.
Yes.
Just a
Yes,
lot
he
of
does. Yes.
Yes.
That is his Liam Neeson throat chop.
That's the only one I've seen of those movies. Like, and I'll admit, like, I enjoyed Olympus Has Fallen because it was stupid fun. And it's fun to watch Gerard Butler because every movie I see him in, I'm like, oh, he's gained like another 20 pounds. Like, he just he seems to just be on that descent into, I don't care.
This is after a summer where he had a lot of beer. Looks at the movie.
Hell yeah.
Den of Thieves, by the way, great film that everybody should watch. The heat of this generation.
If you're any of the cast of 300 and someone asks you like, hey, do you want to lose this much weight? You go fuck yourself. Like,
yeah. No, you've already done your Olympic task.
Like Michael Fassbender is inhuman to look at in that movie. He's cut on every inch of his body, and like Gerard Butler is a beast. Everybody on screen is just like, well, there's some guys who have painted abs.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like everyone in that movie is just like what's his face? The guy who plays Boromir's brother. Like even he is just like chiseled from
Yeah.
stone in that fucking movie.
Oh my
Um,
god.
But yeah, but
David
every time
Brown.
I've seen Gerard Butler after that movie, he gets a little more like I'm like he could still
Yeah.
kick the shit out of me, but he's also
Yeah.
doing it while eating cheeseburgers
Well,
and drinking beer.
I would say he vacillates. There's some movies where it's like, oh, he lost 50 pounds for this, and then there are other movies where it's like, oh,
Oh,
okay,
it's back.
they got you after eating Taco Bell for breakfast and fucking
Yeah.
hamburgers for dinner.
I love the idea that he's just this terrible garbage monster, and he's just like, "Oh, you want me? Okay, fine, I'll act. Whatever.
Fine,
cool."
fine. But I'm
Yeah.
going to Carl's Jr. I'm getting 6 number 6s, okay?
Well, like I watched the movie Greenland because whatever, it was on HBO, and it's like,
Right,
all right,
yeah.
check this out. And I like a good pre-apocalypse movie, and it was fun, but it was heavy duty Gerard Butler dad vibes. I mean, he is a dad in it, but it's just like, oh yeah, you're looking like you're in your late 40s, early 50s there, Gerard. Good job. Like
Yeah.
you're living the dream, man. Like
You're looking like somebody who
he's
picks up wine that somebody else was drinking and just houses it.
He's like if you got like a local part-time bartender to act in a movie, like in his 20s, like yeah, you're great, you're good to go, and then
That is
like
kind of why I like him.
slowly
And
descend.
I don't like after 300. I was like, that guy should be a fucking megastar, and
Right.
it's like Sam Worthington. Like the two of them had like career-defining. Worthington especially. I don't know how Worthington just isn't around anymore. Like that dude is in the biggest movie of all time. It was in a Terminator reboot and like a couple of like a Clash of Titans reboot. I think in the same fucking year. And then like 5 years later, nobody says a word about him.
Nope. Nobody said
Oh,
no. Nobody knows his name at this point.
Him and Charlie Hunnam, like nobody talks about that dude anymore either.
Charlie.
Well, there are reasons nobody talks about him, but we don't have to get into that.
Wait, aren't Gerard Butler and Sam Worthington both in Den of Thieves?
No, only Butler is in Den of Thieves. Den of Thieves is Ice Cube's son, Little Cube, and I don't remember anybody else in that movie actually, other than
movie that looks similar. I think yes, maybe Sabotage. No, it's not Sabotage. He was in Sabotage with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Wow.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
No, going back to what Arlen was saying, like, wait, what happened with Charlie Hunnam? Like, what's going on?
Well, he's a big who's the fucking cunt that got compared to the Red Skull? And he was like, "I'm not the Red Skull," and it's like, Jordan Peterson.
What are you talking about? Oh,
Jordan.
that idiot.
Yeah, Charlie Hunnam's a giant Jordan Peterson guy, and apparently, if you work with him, you get sucked into the Jordan Peterson void if you're working with him long enough. Like Matthew McConaughey is apparently a Jordan Peterson guy now because of working with him.
That bums me out.
Yeah.
Oh no, I like my McConaughey.
Yeah.
Hunnam, like, it's weird that because I watched enough Sons. It's enjoyable. I liked it, but I was never committed. Like, he's fine there.
It sucks
because he's supposed to be like okay, Hunter.
Okay, so I don't want to step on your point, but like he's part of this group of actors that in another era they would be character actors. They would be people who play like weirdos and serial killers.
He'd be a Richard Brake.
Yes, like but for some reason, because they're just like a little bit more handsome, we've decided that they have to be like A-list stars, that they have to be the leads of movies, and they should not be leads of movies. A principal example being fucking the dude who's in both of the Suicide Squad movies.
Jai Courtney.
No, not Jai Courtney. The other one, Kinnaman. Like both of them should only play weirdos. They should only play crazy weirdos with strange personality quirks. They should not be playing white bread, normal, straight edge guys.
I will say
they should only be playing strange drug addicts and like corrupt cops and shit.
Yeah,
like
I'm
that.
not gonna say
no, like that's
I'm not gonna say what happens in Suicide Squad, but James Gunn does a lot with what was essentially just a piece of paper that had no writing on it from the first movie. He about
Mhm.
I would say a third of the way through, suddenly makes Flag super interesting and really easy to fucking root for.
Yeah.
Um,
Because he
but
probably understands Flag a lot better than,
yeah, and
yeah,
Kinnaman
yeah.
is kind of rising to the occasion, and like he's
Mhm.
fine in RoboCop, but that's all I can really say.
No, because okay, where I learned about Kinnaman is the television show The Killing,
Yeah.
which about half of it was good. And in that show, he plays a formerly drug addicted cop who is out of his mind insane.
Yeah,
He's
you look in
he's
that show, you're like,
just
oh, you're wearing a beanie and your eyes are sunken all the way into your face, and you just look like you've been up for 6 days.
exactly. He's a crazy character. He's not like a normal human being in any way. And the way that he plays the role is like very like 70s actor-y. Like it's a Pacino type performance from the 70s. Like he's going for it. He's really like swinging for the fences in the weirdest performance, one of the weirdest performances I've ever seen, and one of the most memorable performances I've ever seen. So everything I've seen him in afterwards has just been so underwhelming because I'm used to this one performance where he really goes for it and he gets to play just weird, just this incredibly weird performance. And everything else, he's just like, I'm normal man doing normal man things. There is nothing strange or idiosyncratic about me at all.
I have no
Like
quirks.
I am a Ken doll, and that's every role that he's been given since. And the same can go for like you said, for Boomerang, for Sam Worthington, for this entire group of actors where you should only be playing insane people or criminals or
And
people
the thing
with
Worthington
quirks.
is you look at him and go, my God, who built you? Like,
Right.
and then you watch him, you're like, oh man, well, one, you can't cover that accent up to save your life. Two, you're just
Yeah.
like, I don't know what it is about you, but you're so fucking bland.
Yeah, exactly. Like the actors who have avoided this, I would say, are like Tom Hardy and Joel Edgerton. They could be in a similar whirlpool, but they've managed to still play fucking strange characters in movies as they should be. While being
I think
leads.
that's part of Tom Hardy's contract. Is like,
Yes.
no, I have
Yeah.
I
to be
get
able
to
to
be
do
naked
this
and covered in
weird
some
thing.
kind of substance.
I have to be insane, and Edgerton less so, but it's still there. I would say with Edgerton and a lot of stuff.
One of my favorite things about the Venom movie is that like Tom Hardy is not looking like a leading man throughout the whole film. In fact, like
Yeah,
he's got this hoodie on, and by the end of it, it's fucking gross because he's been sweating into it. He's been vomiting on it. Like he's been stabbed in it, and like by the end of that movie, Hardy looks like he's got 107 fever and like he's going to die. It's kind
Yeah.
of great.
Well,
yeah. No, he's
speaking of
doing his
Venom,
job in that movie. Yeah.
Speaking of Venom, this was something you brought up earlier, Connor. But with the Venom 2 trailer, like, I don't know how I feel about that trailer. Like,
There's some weirdness there. Like there's one, they're making some. Okay, so the change to Carnage's origin for people who haven't seen it is that it seems as if Cletus Cassidy bites Eddie Brock on the hand, like kind of as just a show of dominance, or just because he's a fucked up serial killer. And I guess it's because he ingests Eddie's blood, which has been bonded with the symbiote, that then infects him in weird ways. And I think that's fucking weird, but also kind of interesting.
That's not bad.
I didn't mind that. It was more the very last bit of that trailer where Eddie's trying to get Venom to come out, and he's like, "Oh, you can eat everybody, whatever." He's like just I don't know, just Venom's an idiot, like an absolute idiot.
Venom's not an idiot. Venom's a douchebag. I think it's what, like, he's not stupid in the first movie, but he's I guess he's one of the bottom, like, towards the bottom totem pole of his race, I suppose is what they imply. But like Eddie's kind of a thick-headed, like he's just a meathead. Like he's the one who's more like, yeah, whatever. It's more like having a house cat that can talk to you and also hurt you.
Right? Yeah,
Again,
I don't know.
This is just reinforcing my belief that they should make a Garfield movie with Venom as Garfield and Eddie's John.
There's some really good like webcomic shit out there of just like what is it, like the I think it's the like when someone's got their hands pressed against, like you may not do and like whatever, and then it's like it cuts to Venom, who's got his covers pulled all the way up above his face, just making a scowl. People have drawn, people have done comics where he's like a house cat and shit like that. And in this one, it looks like he's just kind of, it looks like there's some kind of war for, I guess dominance over the house or something. But like also Venom's fun. The first movie is fun because Tom Hardy just crawls into a lobster tank and rips a lobster in half and eats it.
Yeah, he just looks like shit the whole time. It's great.
Yeah. Here's the thing. That movie is relentlessly stupid, but it's stupid and weird to the point where it's charming, and I really enjoy it.
I don't look towards the Venom movie to be as good as the one. You know what I mean? Like I'm just like I just want Venom. That's all I want.
Yeah, I think we're both on that. I think we're all
like saying like Venom's a great, not having use of his leg and all that, but I don't know, just it like I haven't seen the first one and I had no interest in seeing it just because I was like, I don't know, just nothing about it appealed to me. I don't know, it just something about it was distinctly not interesting to me.
Well, they also, I will say, they sold that movie like shit. Like the marketing for it. I mean, who remembers that first fucking trailer? My goodness.
Remember when we thought he wasn't going to wear the suit?
You mean the Deadly Spawn sequel that they did there?
No, it was the Uncharted movie.
Yeah, the one that had no effects in it. Yeah. Which is funny because this trailer is like watch Carnage transform at least 4 times.
Yeah.
And each one's weirder. Like I do like the fact that this Carnage seems to like it's not a suit. This looks like Cletus's body is morphing into something else entirely.
Yeah, I mean, just on that note of the actual trailer, like I kind of like that better. Like you could almost say that like it's a hat on a hat to have him also be possessed by a symbiote. Him just being a serial killer who has been given like symbiote powers is almost
so dumb.
Yeah, like it's almost better. It's the kind of thing that they would have done in like an 80s or a 90s comic book movie. But if we were doing one of those, say, for a review on this show, I would be like, no, this is actually kind of a smart idea. This kind of works. It cuts down on like what you have to do for the movie and how much setup you have to do, and like it's a smart choice that isn't bad. It doesn't hurt the movie, and it doesn't hurt the story that you're trying to tell.
It also it's a problem having the first movie, which is way too much of like. So my thing, one of my biggest issues with like the action of that movie is the ending where it's just Venom and Riot, and they're both the same color, and they're just smashing into each other, and it's at night, and like they do that one shot of like the symbiotes kind of like breaking open, so you can see Tom Hardy and what's his fucking name,
Rizamed.
Rizamed like scowling at each other, and then they get into a fist fight. I'm like, no, none of this has to happen. And it opens up the door for too much. Like a person has to come out of the suit so they can have a dumb fist fight. And in this, it's like I hope that doesn't happen because now Cletus is Carnage. Like you can't pull him out of a suit now.
That movie is like hard to rewatch for me because I hate that villain. I think he's awful. I can't stand him.
Riot sucks.
Okay, I thought you were saying you hated Riz Ahmed. I'm like, wait, what? Like,
no, Riz Ahmed's good.
Well, Riz Ahmed doesn't. Yeah. I mean, he does a good job, I guess.
He does. But like, he's just a terrible villain in that movie.
He's just Riz Ahmed. You expect a little bit better.
I think it seems like he's phoning it in for the most part, but it's like it's just not a great. Like it's a fun movie. Don't get me wrong. I'm just like. I just don't like that character at all.
Honestly, it's more fun to watch Venom like just go like the mask scene where he says mask copy and Venom pops out and they start Woody Woodpecker slamming police officers around. I'm like, this is what I'm fucking here for. This dumb ass shit. Like
that's what I want.
The whole sequence is so fun. And then you get to the end, it's like this is just two of the same goo covered idiots. Like just slaps it around. And Riz Ahmed is like, I want my space rocket.
Oh, Goo Covered Idiots. Wasn't that one of the videos that's on like the 4th or 5th page of
Yeah,
Pornhub?
no.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah,
actually on the
probably.
286 page.
If you type the right thing in, yeah, it's probably there. That's
See, it
Or was
depends on
that
your
what
algorithm,
happened-
you know.
Or
Also,
is
the
that,
first
Yeah.
or is that what was happening at the furry conventions in some of the hotel rooms?
No, that
more than likely that. Also, the first movie has
I
this
mean,
incredibly bizarre creative decision to have Venom temporarily bond with Eddie's
Yeah.
girlfriend, so
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
can then transport it to Eddie. But the
By
suit
kissing him.
chooses to have her kiss Venom,
see,
kiss Eddie, and have
It's
the
really-
suit transfer over.
stuff like that is
Yeah.
what I
That's
like.
implied-
Stuff like,
And then it's implied
yeah,
that all three of them were technically involved with that kiss, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, all right.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because apparently later on, he was like, so that kiss, she goes, yeah, that was your friend's idea. I'm like, okay, movie.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
just love the idea of
Yeah,
Venom being in someone's head and going, okay, now kiss.
I mean, in retrospect, this is kind of my biggest problem with that movie, and it's my problem with Jurassic World, which is the attempt to be dumb but also be like a real movie. No, just be dumb.
Let's be dumb. Yeah, be dumb.
Just be dumb. Just do the dumb thing. I don't mind just doing the dumb thing. It's when you do the dumb thing, but you try to act like your movie has any semblance of moviness to it, where I'm like, just fuck off. Just get out of my face. I want nothing to do with this. With your attempting to try and make this a serious movie with a plot. If you're gonna feed me Jello, just feed me the Jello. I don't need it. So sometimes I do want the artful and thoughtful thing. I will be the only person in the theater to watch Silence at 9 p.m. at night, and I will enjoy
What?
all 3 hours of that movie, where Liam Neeson plays a samurai. But sometimes I just want the dumb shit and just give it to me, and don't try to pretend that you have any artistic value to what you're doing.
Yeah, Oculus, don't do that.
How dare you?
That movie
How
so sucks.
What a
dare
weird take out of
you?
nowhere. Like,
I hate
How
that. No,
dare
I know
you
it because
besmirch?
it bothers Arlen so much whenever I do that, and I know it bothers.
No,
him.
here's
I
the
hate
thing.
that movie.
Every time you've explained your reasons for not liking that movie, I 100% get it. I still think it's a good Mike Flanagan movie. I still think it's a very well made movie. But yeah, no, I completely understand your reasoning. Like, the ending is a bit it's not the best. It probably hurts the movie. I think that you can see that he got some stuff out there because he never goes that dark or mean in anything else after that. I don't remember anything as dark or as mean as the ending. We've all seen Oculus, correct?
yeah.
Or
and
is this
just,
yeah.
Karen Gillan
Yeah,
eating
like-
shit.
He doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't kill
Yeah, that's
Karen
what I'm-
Gillan with a fucking not a pike, a fucking weighted fucking spike or
It's a
some
weighted
shit.
spike that you're
Pendulum.
playing-
Yeah.
yeah, it's like a pendulum spike.
Weighted pendulum. Like, he doesn't do anything nearly that cruel to a character at the end of a
Yeah.
movie in any of his other movies that I remember.
What were some of the contemporaries for that movie around that time? Because I'm wondering if other horror films had similar like mean endings going on, and that's kind of why it ended up the way
I
it did.
don't remember.
I don't think so, because when was Oculus?
2013.
Oculus feels like it was 2013.
Yep.
That's like a year or the same year as The Conjuring.
Okay.
Which
It's
has
just
like a pretty like milquetoast
Hopeful.
ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought maybe that would have some bearing, but yeah, I guess you're right. Maybe he did have some things to work out, especially against redheads.
yeah.
Well, yeah.
I wanted to address.
Yeah.
I wanted to address like the give me the dumb feeling, because, and this is probably the only times we'll talk about this in the show because I wouldn't subject anybody to a full season of this, but like The Flash has the dumbest shit at the end of this season.
I saw clips.
So it is
What's a lightsaber battle?
It's
like,
so stupid.
they get like someone was like, okay, The Flash, but what if Darth Maul versus Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon?
Yeah, they have lightning lightsabers.
Also, like the Godspeed stuff, like there's that story is a snake that ate its own tail and then just kept going until all the way got to its brain, and then they just added more snakes to eat its own tail. It's poppycock. It has no tie-ins to virtually anything we've seen so far in terms of build up. Like they've retconned everything like that's come so far, and yeah, it ends with him summoning lightning from the sky and using it as a fucking dual-edged lightsaber, and then okay, that's a new speedster. You can say that's power that Barry and Eobard don't have. Because also, surprise, Eobard Thawne is there. Yeah.
Mm.
And then Barry and Eobard are like, okay, yeah, all right, swords it is. My next question is like, when did Barry and Eobard take fencing classes?
My bigger question here, Connor, is have you talked to your therapist about the feeling that you need to hurt yourself? Because that sounds like what's happening with watching the show.
Dude, I can't. No, I'm now at the point where I can't sit through a full episode. Like it is outside of Game of Thrones. I have never seen a show nosedive as hard as The Flash has. Like it is pain. Like seeing where it was and the first, like I've been going back and watching the first season like here and there on Netflix, and like it's a CW show, but for a CW show, it's pretty fucking fantastic. And has some weight, and like the first time Barry time travels is a fantastic fucking episode, because for about a half hour they rack the stakes up so fucking hard that you're thinking some kind of show altering thing is about to happen. And then Barry is basically pushing himself hard. He just finds himself a couple days in the past, and he's like, "What the fuck just happened to me?" And it ends on a note of him just pushing himself to the point where he broke time. And they handle it with such wonder and weight that you're like, "Oh fuck!" Now he's like lightsaber.
Yeah. to not get too specific or to like anchor us in the flash of it all.
Yeah.
That first season is still feels super exciting and like, wow, they're doing this on television. And I think that's why I was able to like give CW a lot of leeway for years after that, because of that feeling of like, this is impressive, and that's just slowly deflated over time.
Crisis really sucked the wind out of that whole like brand, I guess.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I
it
think
feels like
even before that, when the word of the evening, the Sex Pest, was taken off of all of those CW shows, I think that killed a lot of the wind in their sails too.
You know, it's funny because we haven't really. I don't think I've thought of that too much, but like when I do have to sit there and reconsider like Kreisberg's position and like the quality of the overall shows and how a lot of shit changed after his departure, I don't think the pieces are ever properly picked back up. Like I don't think they put the right people in the right places.
No.
I mean, to sort of switch metaphor slightly, it does feel like a car that suddenly had its tire shot out. There are moments where things seemed on the rails and things seemed all right, but I think you are correct in that like his lack of being there just it really messed things up in ways like a Jenga tower, to change metaphors yet again. It just altered things quite a bit.
Well, then, Crisis happens. Crisis sets up that the Justice League for the TV show, and then like the year later, like, oh, by the way, Black Lightning has been canceled, Supergirl's being canceled, and Ruby Rose is no longer Batwoman. Peace out, motherfuckers.
Well, so at a certain point, I wonder how much of that was the shows are done, they have no more momentum, and how much of that is the corporate behind the scenes of we want to move everything to HBO Max.
And a third potential option too would be how many of those actors are like, I don't want to do this anymore.
I think that was a big part. Like, I mean, something else I had said elsewhere in one of the chats was, I think that they're all just waiting their turn. I think that when Melissa Benoist announced that she was pregnant, Grant was like, damn it. I was going to say that I was leaving.
I was going to get pregnant.
Exactly. But she beat me to it. Now she has a rock solid reason to leave. So I have to wait another year.
Yeah, no, I got to get pregnant.
And I think with Grant too, it's like Melissa was, as she was pregnant, Amel left. and then
Right.
so he becomes the de facto anchor of an entire network of shows. He is
Exactly.
he is shackled to that shit until they are done with him. And like,
Yes.
how long was it rumored that Cisco was leaving for? What, 3-4 seasons? And like,
Yeah.
he gets a farewell. By the way, I don't know if I ever mentioned this in the chat. He got a farewell episode that ended with a full-on sitcom musical montage. He was back 2 episodes later.
Yeah. Yeah, because apparently, and this is more rumor than anything else, he kept complaining that there wasn't enough for his character to do, and they kept saying, "Well, no, we'll give your character more to do." And he comes back, and there's still nothing for his character to do that's any different from what he's already
Someone
done
did
in the
point something out
past.
to me about CW shows that have kind of made me look back on on most of them with like, wow, this was a thing that happened all the fucking time, and I don't know why it didn't bother me more. Every single show in that universe is like all the climactic stuff, all the biggest set pieces, like they have to cut back to someone at a computer just slamming their fucking keys away and like doing calculations and equations
Yes.
and whatever the fuck and solving the problem from somewhere else so
Yeah.
that the superhero in question can then go just do the thing.
Well, so that's partly why the
You know,
show's
my silence to say, "God damn it, you right."
yeah. Yeah, go back to your pit now. What was I
Can
gonna
I
say?
have some food?
That was part of these shows, though, was the fact that they had more of an ensemble than just this is Clark Kent. He's still in high school, wink, and he's still trying to get with Lana, wink. And
He's a
occasionally
30-year-old man.
It was like, okay, well, we need to give
Careful, you're gonna
these
awake
other
Alan from
characters
his-
story
You're going
arcs.
to awake Alan from his eternal slumber.
Oh no! He would never come
Lana
here
and
again.
Chloe keep trying to get him to go to an upstate New York
Mm.
way where they can talk about the future of the world and humanity, and
Mhm.
also if you'd like to get branded on your tummy.
Right. Mhm.
And like the other thing is that, and this isn't something that like it's not as like subtle, like it was not really subtle. It was like the tech guy, like, or tech team, but like with the Flash, everybody has to have a fucking superpower. Every goddamn member of that team has to be a metahuman. I'm surprised Joe hasn't revealed he has powers.
Yeah, it's
What, the power to sit? What?
Yes, just to sit. And like, what's funny, you say that because in season 1, like, he is so much more animated and way more emotive, and is just in general doing more. And by season
yeah.
2, he's like, fucking put a bullet in me, like.
Well, I mean, that was me at the end of season 6 as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, I
Well,
understand that.
with the wider issues with the CW stuff, like seeing the articles talking about like, yeah, is it Matt Frewer who plays Constantine on the show?
Matt Ryan.
Matt,
Ryan, okay.
Matt,
Yeah, like he's not going to be playing Constantine, but he will still be on the show. Like, what are you doing? What are you fucking doing? Like,
It's not-
that is a weird thing I heard.
It's not the first time that they've done this, but it's the time where I'm like, wait, what?
He's
Whoa,
done
who?
Constantine in like so many other things since being on since being cast as Constantine. They're like, okay, we're just gonna cut that shit right out, but we're gonna use you for something else.
And it's so weird because he's not a character like the other times where they've done this where it was like fucking Zari or whatever, where they're characters that most people don't
come back again.
Right. Most people don't care about the characters they've done this with before. Like the majority of people, Constantine is a character people give a shit about, and he is the de facto that character. I would say he is, despite only being mostly in television, I would say he has a Margot Robbie type impact on the character, and so on and so forth. Ryan Reynolds. And,
he's voiced him a
the
bunch of
list
times
goes
too.
on.
Yeah,
like
I wouldn't disagree with that. Like he's the best version I've seen of Constantine because we haven't seen many versions of him.
Yeah. But he's definitely the de facto Constantine, and I couldn't imagine somebody else playing him at this point. That's why every time there's an announcement about somebody else playing him, it's like, why though? It doesn't really make sense.
And like the other thing about all these CW shows is like I can't believe you would let a show like The Flash run congruently with Superman and Lois. Like I look at one and go,
Yeah.
this is embarrassing. Like, this is really fucking sad. Because the other one has alleviated all of these fucking problems by just doing so much more with so much fucking less.
I think
Well,
so. I think
I
there's a
don't-
lot of things there. I think it's that the train can't just be suddenly stopped. You can't just
Yeah.
pull the brake on the train.
Yeah.
It kind of has to run its course and lose momentum. And again, as I mentioned, I really do think the plan is to move all this stuff to HBO Max. I think they're already there. The fact that Superman and Lois, the first half of the show was already on Max so soon after it aired. The fact that Stargirl was on Max like almost from day one. I think it was there on launch, and the fact that they were so like gung ho about promoting Batwoman. I don't know how long that's gonna last. But like when I look at that stuff, I'm like, okay, your plan is to move all this stuff to HBO, where you can be a little bit raunchier, a little bit, less CW with it, which is a smart choice. I think that letting your shows that you currently have running suffer and just degrade in quality isn't the best plan. I would do more to slow the momentum if I can.
Yes.
Just give Flash a break. Have the next season be 13 episodes.
Exactly. Yeah. I would say just slow
Pay
it down a
your
bit.
writers more so that that's not a concern, and put the other writers on another show, because apparently that's the reason that they stuck to 22 episodes for so long, is that writers would get less scripts to write and then get paid less. There's an obvious solution to that problem. It's right there. You just have to look at the math and just pay them more.
You're talking like a fucking communist right now, and I don't like it.
You-
This is an all-American podcast.
Oh,
You
not
know
your
what?
Bunny, our Bunny.
Yeah.
And
Money.
yeah, like 22 episodes for actually, I think this season of Flash was 17, which is still like,
wow, what a
yeah, I know. Ooh, what a downgrade.
Oh.
What an alleviation. And I think Superman and Lois like capped off at 14 or 15, but also like that show is
Yeah.
paced so fucking differently. And like within the first like 5 or 6 episodes that I watched, like the one thing I noticed, I'm like, the thing they keep sticking with is that we don't have to worry about like a monster of the week. There's no, there's no shade. There's no CGI monster that's being controlled by a bullied
Yeah.
kid. There's none of that shit. It's just, you're just like, they'll focus on one aspect of Clark as a family man and his family and all the shit they have to deal with being Superman's kids and him being a dad. And the fact that this version of Lois Lane is the baddest bitch who's ever walked the earth. It makes that show versus the other one so much more endurable and infinitely more enjoyable. And the boys, Jonathan and Jordan are the best parts of that show easily, hands down. They're handled really well.
Mhm.
I'm coming from a place where I haven't seen the show at all because there's only so much time I have left on this earth.
Right. Also PTSD.
Well, yeah. And even saying 14 or 15 episodes still strikes me as like, why not just do a really strong 10? Like, cut out some of the fluff. Like, and I don't know. I mean, I'm saying this being completely ignorant of how much fluff there might or might not be in it. But to me, like, a super strong 10 episodes is going to make people keep coming back every season.
Absolutely.
And when you start getting into 15, 16, 17 episodes, it's like, you're pushing it.
I don't even disagree. But if they did it next year, like I wouldn't even be mad about it. But I haven't finished this season yet. I've seen clips of like the ending. But like everything they've done has been so satisfying. I haven't had to sit and think about the length of the season or being like just fucking brutalized like you are for like which one did you come in for, Eric? Was it the Thinker for Flash?
Yeah, it was the one that started off with, what was it? Black Canary 2 was the was back and she was bad, and yeah, I think
that sounds right. Yeah,
I think that was the around that time with the Thinker.
I think that might have been the tail end of Savitar. I don't even know.
No, I didn't see any of Savitar. It was the beginning.
Oh man.
No. No,
I
because
mean, I
we,
did. I
yeah.
did. Yeah, it was. Who was the bad Russian gangster who was in Arrow?
Oh,
Like
and
that
it
was.
is the honorable
Yeah,
man, and yes,
yeah.
Anatoly.
When he
Yes.
came back, yeah, that was when I started watching with all you guys.
Anatoly.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think season 4 is like I don't know, I think it's like 23, 24 episodes. Um,
Mhm.
of just that dumb
Mhm.
shit.
Like
Mhm.
I was into it in the beginning, and then it turned into
Yeah.
what it did.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, after Avatar, I think we were like, that was dumb. Let's and the other problem was like after Avatar, people were like, hey, how about you not do speedsters for a while or ever again because you've really fucked up this one. And it's like Barry run fast, okay. I have now run
Yeah.
fast, but he runs faster than you, Barry. Oh no. And this is
I think they just ran out of story. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
that's how I feel about it.
and with the
Looking
thinker,
back on it.
and with the thinker, it's like you finally departed from speedsters, but then your solution to that and your antidote to speedsters was to have the most convoluted series of Rube Goldberg-esque
Hmm.
like parts of this plan that the supposedly most intelligent man on the planet was coming up with. I'm like, I don't buy for a second this is part of some kind of like plan. I think he's just.
It
This sounds
became
like he's doing it for shits and giggles.
cartoony in the worst possible way. You know, I've recently watched a random episode of the Super Friends.
Mm.
That was a bit more well written and like a bit more thought out than that season of The Flash. Like it was
Oh, okay.
just
Yeah.
so many ideas thrown out at once with no sense of logic to any of it after a certain point. And I
Well,
just
yeah, and that was the weird thing with Super Friends is it's not even like they were trying to advertise toys with it. So it was just like,
right.
oh, this is just bad for the sake of bad.
God,
Exactly.
I fucking
This
hate
is
Super Friends.
literally
I have
here
to say
to
it.
fill
Like,
time.
Yeah.
No,
this
Super
is
Friends is not good.
Yeah,
Nobody's
we're
gonna
here.
be like,
No.
"Oh, I
This is
really love Super Friends."
this is here to
No,
fill a
it's
gap
bad.
between Scooby Doo marathons.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
this is a way to keep your kids quiet for half an hour. Yeah.
Yeah,
But I do want
yeah,
to say,
and
like,
also to pay Casey Kasem, who
Yeah, yeah.
apparently
exactly.
had a crazy contract at the
Of
time or
course he did.
something.
I do want to get back to like, and then like with season 7 and like that whole lightsaber shit. Like, I was almost hurt that they followed it up with probably one of the most impactful scenes that show has had in a long time. But it also felt like a scene from a show that didn't exist anymore because it's
Yeah,
a confrontation between Barry and Eobard, and Eobard's like, "Cool, finally, I've been waiting for this." And he goes to sucker punch Barry, and Barry basically stops time because he's gotten so fast, and looks at Thawne like, "I can't believe that after this much time, like you're still this petty," and then just knocks him on his ass. I'm like, wow, a cool, confident, collected, like stoic Barry who looked at his nemesis and said, "Not today. You disappoint
yeah.
me essentially, and I pity you." And I'm like, that's not the Barry we've been given for the past 3 or 4 years. The Barry we've been given the past 4 years is an erratic madman who would stick his tongue into an electrical socket if someone told him to. He's a
I
lunatic.
I was hoping you were gonna say it was a really impactful episode, and it felt like it was something good because Iris killed herself.
No, man, Iris is now the mother of the Speed Force, or something. I'll take
Okay,
your side.
we need to change topics, or I will actually shoot myself. I
Yeah.
will go buy a gun and
Yeah. This is more Flash than I've had to absorb in a long time, and I'm not happy about
It's
it.
actually like that bit about Iris is more than I ever want to tell you because like the silence afterwards was like pain.
man, like you,
Really
this is not
unrepentant
continuing the
addicts.
Flash. This is just my experience with you, Connor. Like you chime in randomly with stuff about the Flash occasionally, and I just feel my brain beginning to hurt. I'm just like,
I know
ow.
I have to share the agony a little bit because I
I
catch up
just
through YouTube clips now because I can't sit through a full episode. So I'm just like, oh, they're doing this now. What is the context? That's the
Oh,
dumbest thing I've heard.
So you're like a heroin addict that's moved on to methadone, is essentially what's
Yes,
going on.
yeah.
Like
basically,
you're,
I'm weaning myself off.
God, just go cold turkey. It's so freeing.
I mean, the
It's so
season
freeing.
it's over now, so I think without it being in front of my face, it's easier to ignore. So
yeah,
Until the next season pops up, and then it'll be like, well,
right.
maybe
yeah,
this will be
I
better.
think at this
Yeah.
point, like, there's no. I will check back in if they do one big blow off with Barry and Eobard, and Barry breaks his fucking neck. That's what I'll chime in for. That's what I'm waiting for. They better do it. And if they don't do it, I'll start lighting small fires.
Well, then I guess they better start getting some good fire insurance because I don't think that's ever going to happen.
No, it's probably
Yeah.
not. No, I'm in denial.
Yeah, cut to 10 years from now when you're reenacting The Crow.
Yeah, it'll be the same thing. It'll be like Barry's like, I won't do it, and then I don't know, Eobard snaps his own neck. Actually, I would like to see that.
They just need to end that show. They really just need to end it. Like, just cut it off. Just stop it. Just give Barry a good ending. Give him a good ending, like what they did with Oliver, and just end it. Just give it a goodbye. Because the only one of those shows that needs to.
You mean like him looking at his loved ones and saying, like, all right, my time's up, I gotta go, and then walking into the Speed Force with the spiritual personification of his mother?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, they did that already.
Yeah, exactly. Something like that. Just give him a out. Because the only one of those shows that needs to just keep on going and continue on to HBO Max and not say a fucking word about it is Legends. Legends can just exist forever as far as I'm concerned. I don't even need to watch it.
They all need to go.
No, Legends can. I can be 80 and Legends can still be on, and I will not be angry. I won't be watching it, but I will not be angry that Legends is still on. Because
I won't even be mad if they just prop up the skeleton of Neil McDonough in that show and be like, Damon Dark's still here.
Exactly. Yeah, Grodd shows up again and he abducts Richard Nixon or something. I don't know.
That show is officially dead to me with Mick Rory leaving, so I'm done. I would.
Well, no, you know what? That's fair. Yeah. Well, we need the Mick Rory spinoff. Is what we need.
No, God, I do need that. I want at least like a one shot where it's just like it's a day in the life of Mick Rory on the Wave Rider, but no one else.
That's what I've been pitching. No, not even on the Wave Rider. Just Mick Rory going through normal life, just like going to the bar and just like getting into fights with people. Give me that show. I'll watch it. I'm there.
See, I guess it's because I wasn't as bridled to the shows as you guys are, but at this point, I would rather they end them all and start something new with a better budget for all of these ideas.
I can agree with that. I would honestly rather the CW universe like kind of close out and they can embrace this whole multiverse idea and just say like, here is another set of these superheroes, maybe with some variances.
That's probably the better way to do it is to just start fresh.
And that way you don't even. And that way, if you wanted to, a year or two into that reboot, you could have Grant show up and be like, "Hey, I'm the Flash from somewhere else," and people know my face.
Exactly. Because they've established the multiverse enough that if they did that, nobody would bat an eyelash. I don't think.
No. I give DC credit for doing that long before Marvel did.
Yeah.
But once again, I think Marvel's gonna absolutely trounce them on how they handle it.
Well, the thing is, Marvel was planning on doing it, and DC was like, "How do we write ourselves out of this fucking shithole?" I can't believe that the same shit happened to the same company twice in different mediums. Like, our continuity's fucked. What do we do? Multiverse, Crisis on Infinite Earths. Flash forward to modern day. Our continuity's fucked. What do we do? Multiverse.
Oh, well, that's a thing in the comics.
And then Crisis on Infinite Earths happens again.
Like, Crisis on Infinite Earths was to condense everything to make
it was to make it a little more cleaner.
Yeah, and then that didn't work, so they had to fuck everything around again and bring it back and do it.
Yikes.
We could probably close.
Yeah. Probably a good idea. We lost a hunter. He has to be up at.
He died. We talked too much CW and he's passed away.
Exactly. Yeah. His body just.
I've been waiting quietly in the shadows.
Go back to your corner. Go back.
No, it's the end of the show. You can't make me.
I will spray you with the hose. You will get the hose again, John.
Good. It's hot out here. I need to cool off.
God damn it! Not that kind of hose. the hard pressure spraying type hose.
Okay, again,
the-
it's hot out here. I need to
Man,
cool
when
off.
you
What's your
said
fucking
hard,
point?
I really thought that was going somewhere.
I did too.
bizarre.
I was
No.
really concerned. I was
No.
very
It's-
concerned.
I thought it was going to
I
be.
am
a
very.
con-
I'm very excited for the new head of Warner Brothers, though. We don't need to go into that. Also, update on the Mike Flanagan thing. I don't think he ever did anything as mean as what he does in Oculus outside of the Ouija prequel.
You know what still
where-
makes me laugh the
No.
hardest about Mike Flanagan's Oculus is the one of the studios that produces it.
Oh, which
WWE
one?
Studios presents Mike
Oh
Flanagan's
my
Oculus.
Oh my
God,
god, I
they
forget about that
did.
every single fucking time. Oh my god.
That was when they were just like, as opposed to trying to make anything in house, because every time they did it, it was just unbridled shit. They just bought up a bunch of properties like that, and
Yeah.
a couple of movies, and then like they bought the rights to Scooby Doo for a while.
Well,
just-
yeah, and they teamed up with
yeah,
Blumhouse,
movies.
which yeah.
Yeah,
uh,
that studio is probably it's episode
Again,
fodder. but not tonight.
I always, every time I see Oculus on somewhere, I look at those credits and I laugh hysterically because I keep thinking, "Oh yeah, they made Oculus."
Vince McMahon
My
is the
favorite.
producer in this.
He's never seen that film. He's never.
He's never seen a film, as far as I'm concerned.
No.
He hasn't. No, are you
he's-
kidding? He's probably, you know what? He probably watched Jingle All the Way 2 and thought, "Genius, put it in."
Yeah. A movie that he made, starring himself, and never released. Absolutely.
I
All
would
the Way
put
2
money on the
starring
fact that-
Larry the Cable Guy.
I would put money on the fact that Vince doesn't know that there's
Oh
been
my
several
God, that movie
autobiographies
sucks.
pitched about him.
Well, no, he's producing that. He's producing the
Yeah.
one that's coming out.
Yeah, he is.
That
Well, he's
doesn't
also
mean
producing the
that doesn't
Hulk
mean he's aware of
one.
it.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. I got to rewind a second. There is a Walking Tall TV show reboot from WWE starring Charlotte Flair coming out.
Okay.
All right, we
we
need to
are
end.
done
We need
tonight.
We are done because that is a hellscape that we do not need to enter.
Yeah, I'm good. That show will never happen. Anyway, I've been Connor McGraw. We've got TerrorVision out for Movie Dumpster. Our good friend Sergio Murillo's on there. He lets out a scream that is so just unexpected and hilarious that I've isolated it, and I'm going to be putting it into my new Cuts in the Can video where I'm just going to drop it over various movie screams, including Loki getting his hand bit off by an alligator. So
That movie fucked me up when I was a kid.
I can see why. It's very strange, but
Yeah.
very enjoyable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
That's all
like
I got.
10 when I saw it.
All right. I think there's gonna be a new Bond episode for LHP. Stay tuned, or listen to the recent episode that I did with old Canadian Eric, where I learned all of his Marvel takes that he hadn't told me in months, all at once, and it was very
Yeah.
interesting because he has very unique takes on all of that stuff.
Oh man.
Yeah,
What episode is this? I need to hear this.
it's the most recent episode, and he has
Okay.
he has some interesting opinions. You can hear me being very stunned for parts of it because I just did not know how I hadn't talked to him about it. So go listen to that for some exasperation for me.
Eric,
So
how can
yeah,
you say you thought there were too many black people in Black Panther? That's so rude.
that's so weird coming from you. So yeah, listen to that, and yeah, that's I think that's all I have.
I'm Eric Fedorchak. You can find me at Eric_Fedor on Instagram. There's pictures of dog and food and cats and comics. Also flair on the Phantom Zone, doing Phantom Zone things. And I'd like to promote my new band, which is Gal Gadot Krav Maga Machine. It's all about how she has the most kills in the Israeli Defense Force, and most of them are children.
She collects their scalps and puts them on her wall.
She puts them on her head. She wears their scalps on her scalp.
Gal Gadot doesn't have any hair of her own. It's all the scalps of
It's
her
all child
children.
hair. It's all child hair. No, whatever. It's I'm not going to get into the politics of the Middle East because I am an American and we don't care. Yeah,
Right.
so that's it.
As long as they give us oil, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Keep that tit pumping. Yeah.
And they don't interfere with our tax dollars. What shits do we give? This has been the show. Bye.